I figure if my audience retention is going to be a problem, let's just run everybody off right at the front end of the video.
You suck.
If you're new to the channel, I'd like to ask you to like or subscribe. It's kind of like one of those dog turds you find in your yard in the summer where the sun has cooked all the color out of it and you accidentally kick it over and it's still wonderfully brown and moist on the bottom. That's kind of what this channel is like. So let's have some fun. Let's just do fun, stupid things.
Before I do anything else, I have to smell it. It smells just like I remember it. Mom's perineum on that day I was born. Genuine 65. That girl's gonna make me fall.
You don't want to smell the air coming across my rotting gingiva any longer. Let's get right to it. It's kind of like a talk show with no guests. It's kind of like a variety show with really, really bad musical acts and a host who's just borderline obnoxious and can barely play guitar. Thank God I had the good sense to turn off my YouTube comment notifications from this thing, because that had been embarrassing. You've just been peppered the whole video with, you suck, unsubscribing. So that's my peer group. I'm like the smartest kid in the slow class. I ain't mad about it. And let me tell you something, I'm never gonna be a YouTube superstar at this rate. Getting crunchy, oh, look at my hands. I could be a hand model. For old people products. Hey everybody, try our new skincare. Do you have these old man hands that you can actually see through at this point in your life? Nobody wants to see that. That's gross as hell. If you're new to the channel, I'd like to ask you to like and subscribe. It is mostly a low rent controlled trailer park with cars on blocks and kids who are out with dirty faces way, way past their bedtime. All those 60s hippies, they all had bragging rights. They'd walk around saying, hey, you know, if you can remember the 60s, you weren't there, man. But as far as I'm concerned, if you can remember the 80s, DM me, because I'd like to buy your silence.
You suck.
Anyway, you get the picture. They should call the 0.5 setting on this. Either call it I'm scared of my wife or I'm scared of my landlord. Or I'm scared of my mom. Should I do a Tyler Larson-esque pause where I do like multiple zoom ins and I stop with my eyebrow up really dramatically like this? I call that chromatic song. Do you like it?
Ooh, you suck.
How many times do we see those rock and roll shenanigans where somebody would be doing an amazing solo and end with a... And then in an instance of terribly bad luck, it lands right on a 95-year-old surprisingly dry velvet theater curtain, which immediately bursts into flames. Here's the punchline. The whole arena's lined with them. Woof. It's a tinderbox. Now all of a sudden, you got yourself a jump the shark situation. No, I'm not talking about that episode of Happy Days. I'm talking about a great white situation. We're going to need a bigger fire truck. Too soon? If you got some low, ratty-ass friends that don't give a crap about what they do with their time, send them my way. Look, cable for electricity. Sincere thank you from Chuck. That one actually hit the lens. I love it. If they make a Tommy Thayer Funko Pop, it'll play Ace's licks better than the Ace Funko Pop. It's all going to be stupid. It's not going to be what you want to do with it. You're going to be entirely, incredibly frustrated. You'll put it in the comments.
You suck.
Brown, earthy, soil, like it has soil in it, like really good soil, like the stuff you get from the Home Depot. It smells all fresh and it's got them little white nuggets in it, that pot and soil. What the hell are those white nuggets? I'm almost afraid to ask. This guitar is so 80s that it smells like cocaine and stripper sweat. You know, if I were to go into porn, I would want to make my name clever, something people would remember. Girth Brooks. Ooh. Like that. Then I got thinking, no, he might sue me. That's a little close. Cease and desist. Then I thought, why just use my own name? Staying with the same theme, Alan Thicker. Then, you know, I thought, as soon as I do that and I start working under that name, some other swinging dick asshole out there is going to come out and he's going to call himself, you guessed it, Alan Thickest. And then I'm done. I'll never work in this town again. And by this town, I mean it's in the valley, just down from Sunset. Van Nuys, to be specific. And there you have it. Rarely asked questions. Let's go to lead. How are we doing on time? Watch Flex. We're doing great. Ah, I'm a YouTuber now. Gotta be one of those assholes. You want to hear it chug? Did they chug in the 80s? They did, but not in the way you mean these days. If you ain't got a lot of sustain or you don't play that kind of guitar, you don't have to worry about it. If you just go... like you're constipated. I often think about, you know, people always talk about if they could go back in time, you know, they would like shoot baby Hitler or something. To me, I'm a more positive person. I don't want to do anything violent, even if it prevents a huge disaster down the line. Almost anything you could pair Bluetooth with, except for your grandma, because it's not her teeth that are blue, it's her hair. Man, oh man, they ain't kidding when they say it's big. It is big, but just, it's the next day and I'm already more used to it. When I first put my hands on it, I was like, oh no, that's way too big. That's gonna hurt. I can barely get my hand around it. Your cousin's getting moist. She's leaning over, give you a little smoochy, but oh, you need a beefier tone for the pre-chorus. It was kind of big, it kind of hurt. Remember how you hated it? But then after a while, you spent more time, you know, you stretched, it just got used to it, and now you actually like it. Double entendre. How am I doing? With that, we got Peter Criss. He doesn't say much. He just complains that he gets a smaller amount of money than the rest of the guys in the band, even though everybody knows he deserves a smaller amount of money. Ace claims to be all about his fans, but if you stop and ask him for an autograph or a picture, he's going to probably brush you off. Now, if you whip out a Hyundai and say, hey, Ace, can I get a picture? He's going to go, oh, hi, Carly. Let's add some more weird effects, too. I can't remember what I was on the list. What kind of a YouTube reviewer am I? Pretty piss poor one. Now, if you're into MIDI, first thing I want to do is apologize to you for pushing you down on the playground. I was young. I was stupid. I'm really sorry. But MIDI, I ain't no keyboard player, son. I ain't programming stuff into a sequencer. I'm not Nick from Duran Duran. That's as low as it goes, 1/4 speed. Now I hit the play button again.
Next video, we're gonna be around this arpeggio.
If I could go back in time, I would get one of those things that all the kids do, the jewels, the vapor things, whatever. They make steam out of tobacco. And I would go back in time and I would give that to Eddie, one of those big obnoxious box mods, and say, here, suck on this douche flute, son. Put the cigarettes down. Your favorite YouTuber doesn't do drugs, perhaps? You'd like to see what his channel would be like if he did drugs, or if you did drugs, you can slow it down and like this. Let's see GearGasms on drugs. This is GearGasms normal. Now this thing comes shipped in the app with lots of presets. GearGasms on drugs.
So lots of different applications you can use it with YouTube. And how it does it is
I know that you have some super low ball, dirt ball, grease ball, low class, white trash friends that you could send to GearGasms, because I know me and them would get along just swimmingly. And you lean over and go,
Oh my goodness.
oh my Lord. Don't get your panties in a bunch. That's not tobacco steam. It's... That's racist! You didn't butch up La Vida Loca. La Vida Loca kind of feminized you. We also learned that size doesn't necessarily matter, that if something feels a little big at first, you just got to get used to it. You got to be willing to stretch a little bit, and then not only will it not feel bad anymore, you'll kind of like it. Well, what did we learn today? We didn't learn because it's Freeform Friday, right? It's not like, this ain't like class. School's out, bitch. What did we learn today? We learned that the 80s were a whole bunch of fun. We had fun guitars, we had fun colors, we had fun fashion, we had fun sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Kids these days, sucks to be you. Tell all your ratty ass friends about GearGasms. We all know you have them. You can get a t-shirt if you like. Don't be embarrassed about the size. I'm not going to see what you order. Links are in the description. Tell some of your low rent friends about GearGasms, the ones that you know that have really, really bargain basement taste. They fit this channel's demo perfectly. Tell all your really, really drop dead, ugly, low class friends about GearGasm. We know you got some t-shirts, t-shirts, t-shirts. Will you buy a t-shirt for the love of Jesus? Whatever you do in the next 7 days, don't tell Don Henley about it, because if he finds out the Eagles are on it, he's just going to come over to your house and rape your cat.
Cut!
What, we can't say on YouTube? Can't say on YouTube?
Roll sound.
Quiet on the set!
Whatever you do in the next 7 days, don't tell Dave Ellefson about it, because... yeah. Whatever you do in the next 7 days, don't tell David Hasselhoff about it, because... don't hassle the Hoff.
That's racist!
Whatever you do in the next 7 days, don't tell Don Henley about it, because if he finds out the Eagles are on it, he's just going to come over to your house and force himself on your cat.
Cut!
What now? Too aggressive? Whatever you do in the next 7 days, don't tell Bonnie Raitt about it. Why give her something to talk about? Whatever you do in the next 7 days, don't tell Slash about it, because he doesn't party anymore. And you don't need that. Hey Slash, there's another party down the hall. I believe it's exactly 12 steps that way. And it sucks. You should probably go there. Buzzkill.
That's racist!
Whatever you do in the next 7 days, don't tell Angus Young about it. He's just going to show up to the party and give your daughter an Australian lap dance when you thought you made it abundantly clear that you purchased that for your wife. Whatever you do in the next 7 days, don't tell Ricky Martin about it, because apparently that boy can't keep his mouth shut even when you roofie him.
That's racist!
Whatever you do in the next 7 days, let me try it more gently. Whatever you do in the next 7 days, don't tell Don Henley about it, because if he finds out the Eagles are on it, he's going to come over to your house and have relations with your cat without first obtaining your consent, nor the consent of said cat.
That's a wrap!
Whatever you do in the next 7 days, don't tell Billy Gibbons about it, because he's just going to show up with a beard full of lice and a half a bag of ditchweed.
That's
Play more
racist!
guitar, watch less YouTube, and keep coming back here week after week for more GearGasms.